Hey guys, welcome aboard. It is week 5 in college football. If you don't count week 0, well, even if you do count still week 5. So we've got our guest capper. He was the cow. It's a good thing. He was the capper of the week last week. And hey, actually said, yeah, I'd love to do the show. He said, pick a time. I did. He did the time. Here he is. My God, who knew it could be that easy? You know him, you love him. He is a fine handicapper all the way from Houston, Texas. It's Brandon Zerface. What's up, Brandon?
It's good to be here. I'm glad I finally won a week and was able to get on here and make a video.
You've made some darn fine picks, and it's happy to have you put them all together for a week. Had a hell of a week, man. So what was the highlight of your week? You remember any games that stood out? What was the one you didn't think you were going to win that you did?
Well, to be honest, I felt confident about the Colts pick. That was the one that, as soon as I was kind of holding in my back pocket, and as soon as Texas blew that lead late and screwed my teaser on Saturday, I knew I just had to make that pick to go for it, and just felt like
Well,
it was the right spot.
congratulations, and that was the one. That was the great come from behind victory there as the Colts. Would you have them on the money line? What was it? Was it like
It was
plus 230?
plus 200, plus
Was it
200.
200 even? I
Yep.
know that's all I give you credit for. So, or no, because it was a
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, you could have gone nuts. So, and yeah, and then to troll me, you've worn your Colts hat. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you know what? I'll just say to celebrate your big win, you've got your Colts hat on. Nothing to do with trolling me, the Chiefs fan. So,
No, not at all. It's gave me a reason, like I said, to wear my Colts hat. Being here in Houston, it's
very
hard to wear
good.
it out nowadays.
And we were talking before, and you said you grew up in Bloomington. Obviously, I mean, maybe not obviously, but I'm guessing you're an IU fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge Hoosier fan. Football season's a little rough, but
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about what was your wheelhouse? Did you get to see any like big? I'm sure you saw big superstars come through Indiana. Who'd you get to see in person? Who was the most impressive?
I guess the biggest for me growing up when I was real young was Anthony Thompson.
Hmm.
I don't know, some people might, and he actually opened a little sporting goods store there in town. So he came and signed autographs, and so I actually still have a couple of autograph pictures and stuff that my son has now because he thinks he's real cool.
Outstanding. Did you get to see the general coach at all? Did you get to see those plaid pants?
Yeah, yeah, I did a little bit. He was a little. I mean, I was there probably at uh, the end of it all. You know, he was a little before my time on a lot of it, but yeah, definitely was involved. I had some family that worked at IU too, so got some good seats going.
I went to school for a year at the University of Minnesota, and my cousin was a big uh, alum at Minnesota, and he had tickets to every Gophers football, basketball, home and away. So we got to go to Assembly Hall, and it was nuts. If you haven't had an opportunity to go, they still play Assembly Hall, right?
Yep, yep.
None of that moving downtown to the fancy digs or anything.
No,
Yeah.
they did a lot of renovations to the stadium because it was kind of falling apart. So the future's there as far as I know.
All right, very good. It is a great experience if you're ever in that area. You get a chance to do it. You should absolutely go see IU play in Assembly Hall. It's probably top 5 in the country, at least that I've seen. So,
Sure.
all right, buddy. Well, enough about what have you done for me lately. Let's talk about this weekend. Now, we're doing the show on Thursday, which gives us the entire football card, everywhere from Friday night on, NFL, NCAA. All you got to do is pick a dog and on the money line, and whoever picks the biggest dog that wins, they're going to be the king of all cappers. It's a pretty impressive title. It comes with
Right.
absolutely nothing other than the title. So it's just like a real job. It's just
Yeah,
like having a real
exactly.
job where there's no more money or prestige. It's just a title. So all right, man, you're the guest. And
Okay.
as always, if we match on the game, if you take the same one that I was going to take, I have to pick a new one. Probably a little less likely since there's football. It happened once when we were doing baseball, but with
Okay.
football, I think we got a better shot of not matching up. So, what do you got?
Okay. So really, I've looked at a lot of stuff. I said I'm a Hoosier fan. I've actually looked at them against Nebraska. Just can't seem to pull the trigger, being a total homer pick. So I keep coming back to Kansas plus 130. I know that seems to be kind of probably a popular pick, so that scares me a little bit. But it just seems like they've come to play this year. They've kind of turned the corner. I'm a trends guy, and most of the trends are in the opposite direction for them. So I just think this year's their chance to turn everything around.
Yeah, very good. And I looked at that play. That's decent value. I don't think the odds makers and the betting public have totally bought in on this Jayhawks team yet, despite the fact that they've started 4-0, like you mentioned, and beat. Um, well, I was going to say they beat four pretty good teams. They beat two and a half pretty good teams. They beat West
Right.
Virginia, they beat Houston, and then they beat Duke in a game that wasn't as close as the final score indicated. So don't hate it. Don't hate it at all. Something that I had my eye on. Kansas, like you said, they are home. They are the dog.
Right.
So getting getting the undefeated team there at 4-0. Yeah. Now there are, and you also brought up the point that you think the public is going to be a very popular public play. I think you're probably right. Yeah, there's definitely some little, I don't know, they're alarm bells, but they're at least the little tinkling of bells going off in your head when you see that line. You're like, well, why on earth
Right.
would Iowa State be favored? And you go, well, maybe they know something. But we'll find out because every once in a while, something is exactly as it seems. So I'm going to go a little different direction. I'm going to head to the SEC, and of course, I had all my SEC. I had everything ready to go, and let me see what that. I'm going to look at Kentucky and Mississippi, bud. And Mississippi is a 7-point dog, but we don't care about that because we're going to take them on the money line at a plus 210. And, both of these teams, this is the first time they've played as ranked teams. I want to say since I read this like the mid 50s. So it's been a minute since we could count on either one of these teams. Both the teams 4-0 on the spread. 4-0 straight up. Kentucky 3-1 against the number. Ole Miss 2-2 against the number. And I'll tell you what I like about this Tennessee team, or this Kentucky team. They're getting back Chris Rodriguez to run the football. He was suspended for the first 4 games of the season due to a DUI. They're getting him back, and they're going to be going against an Ole Miss defense that's been decent, but they had some struggles last week when Tulsa wanted to run the ball. That was a game that Ole Miss won by 8, 35-27. And Tulsa was able to do pretty much whatever they wanted on the ground as they rushed for 262 yards, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. And I think as long as you can take some of the pressure off that quarterback there at Levis there at Kentucky, he's shown he's very good so far. 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I think this is a game that Kentucky not only has a chance to cover that number, I think they have a chance to win it outright. I think it's going to be a grinded out affair. I would definitely be surprised if it wasn't a 1-score game either way. I think when the smoke clears, the Wildcats, I think they're going to be 5-0. Give me the Kentucky Wildcats plus 210. What do you think of that?
I like it. That was one of the ones I looked at as well. I just felt like I definitely would take the +7. I was just a little worried about them winning outright, but I
Yeah,
wasn't sure too. I felt like the line was moving the opposite direction, so I didn't know if there was something I wasn't picking up on or
let me ask you, what do you when you make your final picks, what do you base your picks on the most? What do you do? Do you look at line movement? Do you look at the matchups? I mean, what if you have a game where you like in other words, if you have a game where you really like the matchups, but the line movement goes the other way, will you tend to slog off of that or bet less? Does it affect your final play?
yeah. I mean, usually it just depends on how much I like the play, I guess. But I just kind of I usually look at matchup. I usually bring everything together, and try to find something that syncs all together with sharp money. I look a lot of that too, late before games start.
Okay.
Um, and trends is big for me, really more than anything.
Very good. And I'd like to ask our guest handicapper, if you had to give one tip to the guys, to the people that are just starting out on their sports betting journey. I know that we've got a lot of new viewers that tune in each and every week. So, what would be the one tip you would that's helped you along your journey that you would pass on to the next generation?
I'd say for me, it's low volume. I mean, that's I get into most trouble when I'm, oh, this game looks good, this game looks good, and I think I can win 8 or 9 games. Obviously it depends on the slate too, and on the weekends my picks are up a little more with college football or the
Sure.
NFL. But But yeah, that's been the biggest thing for me is, it's taken me probably a year and a half to kind of really get disciplined and you know pick follow certain people more than when I first started I would watch 8 9 different guys on YouTube,
Right.
and so you can get in trouble there, I feel like, because you're taking 8 9 different, and never everyone's not going to hit it at the same time, obviously.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
So that's been the big thing, is just kind of honing down on a couple guys you like, and matching up with what you like, and going from there.
There you go. All right. You heard it. You heard it there first. The guy that's doing it at the amateur level still got your day job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. In spite of the fact you were capper of the week, you still kept your day job.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay.
I tried a capper contest a while back somewhere else for a month and didn't do so well. So it's a tough gig.
It is, and it does keep you humble. It is an
Yeah,
easy business to stay humble in, because you could go 5-0 yesterday and you go 1-4 today. You're a chump. You're an
right.
absolute chump who knows nothing about any sports at all. So, hey
Yeah,
man, I don't want to keep you. Thanks very much for joining us. Appreciate it, and appreciate you dropping great picks in there just about every day, man. Just you're one of my guys that I would call a daily contributor. So I really appreciate it. I think we've made a great community there with
yeah.
everybody helping everybody out, and we've identified some mighty fine cappers, of which you are one, sir.
Thanks. I appreciate that, and thanks for all you do with the channel, because it's great what you do. So not everyone does it, and it makes the community special, like you said.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing it, and even when it's late at night and I'm screwing up grading picks, because as we have learned, I am no bookkeeper and I am a terrible accountant. So it's a rare day. You do what is smart. You say, "Hey, it's Tuesday. Here's my record," and for some reason, I seem to get you right because I double check. I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I had too." So very good. I appreciate it, and everybody else, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. All that regular stuff. I've got my premium picks. If you're interested, make sure that you check out the discount code that is available for this week. We'll knock 25% off of everything. That's going to do it. I want to thank my special guest, Brandon Zerface, for stopping by. Brandon, have a great weekend, man. Hope you win some games.
Thanks, you too. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right. And everybody else, hey, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time. Hopefully, we'll do it again next Thursday with a brand new capper, or maybe this guy will win again. You don't know. That's why you got to tune in to see who's going to be the capper of the week next time. Everybody else, take care, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.